It's hot as
Oh
fuck in this
man,
motherfucker.
dude, how long are we able to do this for?
As long as I want. As long as
Oh
I
my
want,
god, I'm gonna push you to the very limits
Nah, dude.
of fucking how long you record this shit. We're gonna have so much fun today.
Yeah, yeah. It's already hot in this bitch though. I'm gonna text my wife to make it a little bit colder.
Oh, okay. Are
You
you really gonna text her?
make
Like,
it
you're gonna text her
68
while we're in the
degrees.
middle of it?
It's
Dude,
hot out this motherfucker. All right,
are
yeah.
you are you in like a closet or some shit?
No, I'm in my bedroom because I did a podcast as a guest last night, and the shit went 2.5 hours. So my wife was trapped in here. So I told her that I would do the opposite today and be trapped in here myself.
Oh, you're so fucking considerate.
Oh,
Man,
I
look at
know.
you.
I'm the best.
Hey, so dude, I just want you to know, like, heads up, this one, because sometimes you got to talk to the people that are watching this podcast. When they
Yeah,
see this podcast, do they see our faces and shit?
yeah, of
Okay,
course.
so so they're gonna be looking at me. I'm gonna be looking at them. I'm gonna look them right in the eye and let them know the only reason I'm doing this fucking podcast today is to get pussy. That's the
Dude,
only reason I do podcasts, because I've heard that the ladies love men who do podcasts. So I plan to be knee deep in some moist vagina when this shit is
oh
over,
my
because
god.
it's gonna be so good.
Dude, so sexual from the start. So sexual. What's up? Why is your Facebook so fucking sexual? No matter what you
It's
post,
it's not,
it's so sexual. You write about
dude.
shit, dude.
It's not. You know why it's so sexual? Because I haven't had sex in like a fucking year. This is how I express my sexuality.
Bro.
Is I'm not getting no pussy, so I got to talk about it.
Dude, I'm gonna go through some of your statuses here, but first, we're in our 30s. We're supposed to be kind of like over sex, like the shit's like
You're in your 30s. I'm in my 40s.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Sex should be uninteresting to you by now.
Oh no, fuck that shit. Sex is still bomb, man. Dude, like, okay, so
Bro,
I
hold
was
on, wait,
thinking,
wait. Here, 26 minutes ago, you wrote, I don't even want to fucking say it. You wrote, this one goes out to all the people out there who bleach their assholes, and you bleeped out the A in assholes like that's something, just to have a pretty chocolate starfish. Yuck. You guys and gals are the real heroes. You wrote that shit.
yeah, because it's real, man. Hey, I don't know if you watch porn, but I happen to watch porn because,
Okay.
again, I'm not getting any right now. And occasionally you see amateur porn,
Yeah,
and those buttholes are not bleached,
that's
and you
true.
can tell. But then you watch the professional shit, and I'm sure that bleaching your asshole does not feel good,
It's
but
probably true. Yeah.
they do it anyway. They do it for us.
Do you prefer the professional, or are you more of an amateur kind of guy?
Oh, I like the amateur. I like it. I like them chubby. I like them out of shape and real. Like, I feel that most people watch porn because they're trying to find that perfect porn where the girl looks just like their ex that used to get them off all the time, and that's what they're searching for.
Okay. Well, here's another status. This says, and this is half okay. The first half is fine. I wouldn't do this, but it's fine. You wrote, ladies, buddy, what's the sexiest writing you've ever read? And here is when you fuck up, dude. You added like all kinds of resulting tingles. It didn't need that shit, dude.
Yeah, because for one, it's an honest question in the beginning,
Yeah.
but you have to have my signature, and that's what that last sentence is. That's my fucking signature. I want to know what makes you fucking tingle. What makes you tingle, Pat? what fucking gets you? Because, like, I'm sitting there in the
Yeah.
shower and I say to myself, you know what? I'm gonna be a professional for this interview.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I planned for this interview to be naked during the whole interview. I planned to smoke weed during the interview, but
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a professional. But I was taking a shower and I thought to myself, I wonder if Pat still takes a shower with Amy, and I wonder if she washes him.
Yeah, we I mean, here and there, it's not like, here's the thing. Shower sex as an act is overrated. The actual shower itself is sensual, romantic. That's something that I feel like all couples do. I mean,
Yeah,
all, yeah.
Shower sex is for you when you're in your 20s because you're dumb and you don't know any better.
Yeah, it's like a
But that's
novelty. Yeah.
yeah, man. Fuck doing the maximum amount of work for the chance of an orgasm. And the orgasm in the shower is never that fucking good.
Yeah, it's
It's not
all
fucking amazing.
no.
Yeah. You
But
know,
yeah, I mean,
but
it's
washing
something.
somebody is pretty fucking dope. You wash them, they wash you. She gets lost in the fucking forest that is the fur that covers your body. And you, I guess she doesn't have no fur. I
I
don't know. I
mean,
don't know your relationship that well. I don't know if there's
yeah,
fur or if there. Amy, where you at, Amy?
nah, dude, no, that's not how we do things here.
Okay. So
But
you were making before this podcast
yeah,
began, ladies and gentlemen, he was making fun of my nails because
yeah,
I decided to get an early jump on Halloween. But that's not the real reason I painted my nails. You're going to hear this here first
okay,
so that you guys know I'm not all about sex. I'm also about comics, video games,
okay,
sex and ladies and sex and all those other wonderful things and sex. So I went to a place. We're not going to say where the place was, but I saw this guy. This guy was obviously fucking straight, black dude. Not important to the story, but he was black. And he had his nails painted, and he had this cool little design on it. It was dark green nails. It was very manly colored painted nails. But I saw it for a second, and I was like, ugh, gay. And I was like, wait
bro.
a minute. No, I was like, I'm not homophobic. My
Yeah,
sister's gay. Some of my closest friends are gay. I'm friends with trans people. I'm friends with, not to be like I have a black friend or something like that.
yeah.
But basically, I was like, I felt weird for a second. And then I was like, dude, I really like your nails. Them shits is dope. He was like, yeah, man, I was trying to get the manliest color possible. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to paint my nails these colors just so I can feel a little bit weird whenever I look at my nails to address the fact that for 1 second, I was like, ew. And that's why I painted my nails.
Interesting. Okay, that's a more interesting story than I expected, given the nails. Because, dude, like looking at the nails, I saw them, and when you wore those, and you then transitioned into talking about how you wanted to get girls through this podcast, it made me think that it wasn't going to happen with the nails. But oh, the food's here. Here's my question though: the attitude toward homosexuality in your lifetime, in our lifetime, has dramatically changed. How do
Yes.
you see yourself challenging your perceptions like that on a consistent basis? Is that the one time? Like, how have you felt as society has progressed in this way?
Well,
You look like fucking Carol DeVille, dude.
so
When you
so
look,
I smoke weed.
bro.
I wasn't gonna smoke weed, but I'm like, I'm hanging out with my boy, so I'm gonna smoke weed.
Yeah,
I think, and that's a beautiful fucking question. So I was brought up Catholic with a lot of preconceptions of what was right and wrong, and there was never anything in between. It was like, you're gay, you're going to hell, that kind of stupid shit.
yeah,
So I was also brought up in like a really middle class neighborhood. So I wasn't exposed to gay people, to trans people, to anybody besides white people.
yeah,
Because I was like one of the only two black kids in my school. So I did not have a chance to like fully get a sense of these communities. So growing up, I was like, that kind of shit. I
yeah.
wasn't really able to handle it. One time I got taken to a drag bar and they tried to get me up on stage, and I was like, nope, 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 not going to do it. Instead of going to have fucking fun, because as you well know, gay people are the funnest fucking people on the planet.
Yeah.
They have fun like a motherfucker. If you guys want to have fun, go to a gay bar. Doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bi, whatever. You will have a blast because they know how to partay. So anyway, so I get older, I grow up, I start expanding my circle. Some of my closest friends in the world are gay, bi, trans. And then all of a sudden, my sister's gay. And I'm like, well, I don't want to believe in a God that would send my sister to hell. So that changes my fundamental spiritual beliefs. And on the other hand, now that I'm exposed to all this and I can see it and I'm much older, I'm kind of like, I don't care who's fucking who. That's your business. As long as you're not doing anything to hurt somebody, like, why would I care?
And when
But
was
it
that
took,
your sister coming out?
she moved back down here. I had seen her in years since she was little because we have different mamas. But she came out here and she brought her fiance, wife, girlfriend, I don't know what you fucking call it. And I met him and I got to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And this was even before because again, one of my closest friends, I'm not gonna name her in case, you know, but one of my best friends in the world is also gay, bi, or whatever you want to fucking pansexual, whatever label it is today. It'll change tomorrow. Um, so yeah, now I'm just all accepting of all people. You know what? I still don't trust Eskimos. I think they're hiding something with all that ice shit. I don't know, man.
Oh boy, dude. Yeah, it's been interesting seeing how times have changed in our lifetime, you know, because I remember like just watching kids on TikTok, on Twitter, they're so accepting of everything. And I remember the first time in school that I ever saw gay dudes. It was two guys holding hands. One of them I knew, a friend of mine named Kevin, who was actually since passed. He was holding. God damn, dude. He was holding hands with a man, a boy, and and a different guy I know passed by them, and he said, "Damn, y'all racial slurs gay." And I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, you know? And that was my first experience actually seeing it in person. And it was with someone kind of like calling them out. And now it's, you know, the kids are really not that way anymore. I mean, so some are, of course, you know, but
No, I'm pretty sure they still are. We just don't see it.
yeah, maybe.
Kids,
I don't
kids,
fucking know, dude.
kids. Like the only reason I know about this shit at all is I have two daughters that are 12 and 14, so they get in shit all the fucking time. And
Yeah.
kids, they didn't get less mean. They just got smarter about how to be. Like nowadays, they're like, hey, and this is fucked up because there's some kids out there that had the potential to become good writers, but they decided to use their gifts for evil. And they'll post horrible shit on social media and make people kill themselves and shit because they're just
Yeah.
fucking evil. The kids are fucking evil.
Have you ever kissed a dude?
I have. I was just gonna ask you that. That's funny as fuck.
What do you think my answer is?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I was in my late high school, early college days, we would do like truth or dare games, and like three of my homies, you know, kiss it up.
Yeah, that's super gay, man. I never kissed a dude, man. That's gay as shit.
I mean,
No,
listen.
I'm playing. I'm playing. Dude, look at my nails. Of course I have.
I was about
But
to say,
no,
dude, if I
it's funny.
kissed three dudes, but you got 10 painted nails, bro. I mean,
Yeah, well, it's funny though. I didn't kiss a fucking dude until I got fucking to the age I'm at right now. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I love pussy. I was just curious. I was just trying it out. But if the fact that I kissed a dude makes you not want to buy my books, fuck you. I didn't need your money anyway. Suck my dick. But if you still buy my books after finding out I kissed the dude,
yeah,
you might get kissed by me one day.
bro.
Yeah, if you're a lady, not a guy. I'm not doing that shit no more. That was an experimental phase. There was a bunch of cool drugs, a lot of alcohol, and I was just like, I looked across the bar. And I was like, ugh, he looks gay. And I thought to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you, Raven? Why are you thinking this way? And then he sat next to me and I was like, dude, I wanted to come over and tell you how attractive you were since the first second I saw you, but I didn't know how to say it. And dude started making out with me, and I was like, oh shit, this is fucking cool.
Wait,
I can pick I can pick up on guys as good as I can pick up on girls.
so hold on. This is the second time that you've seen something gay, thought that you had a negative reaction, and then followed through with doing what you perceived as gay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate when any kind of sexism, any kind of racist, any kind of bigot like thought pops in my head, I immediately confront it in the most dramatic fashion I can think of, because I learned that the way people change in life is they get exposed to these things by people that really matter to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that your love for them makes you challenge your own conceptions is a powerful theme, I believe, goes through life and has to be constantly addressed and looked at.
Yeah.
So yeah, like never kissed a guy after that. That was my last thing. And I like vagina, I like titties too much, and you know, it's just my fucking thing. But yeah, I experiment. Who gives it, man?
So let me ask you
Fucking
a
life.
question. Let me ask you a question. Say,
This is
what's
the
your
gayest
porn?
podcast I've ever been in, by the way. Like super gay. I love it. I love it. There's not enough gay podcasts.
Oh, we're getting deeper, dude.
By straight men.
What's your porn site of choice?
My porn site of choice? God, we going fucking deep into the abyss.
Yeah.
Before I answer this question, so this is how the world is. I'm sure the majority of people out there, the majority, have or do currently watch porn on a regular basis, like
Everyone.
once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
So, for the first time ever, I started sending my friends a porn clip.
Oh, God.
First time I ever fucking did this. So there's a porn on the internet where the girl, she's not fucking him in the ass.
Yeah.
There's this girl, and she's literally fucking the guy, like has his legs up in the air, the dick is down, and she's fucking him like a dude fucks a girl. And it's the most amazing fucking video I've ever seen. I started sending it to all my friends.
Bro, you sent it to me.
You know, you're the only one who fucking opened it. Nobody else would open it. They're like, dude, I'm not opening that shit. I didn't
open it. Bro,
you motherfucker. So you still haven't seen it.
Dude, I'm never gonna see it.
You are such a fucking square. You prude fucking ginger bitch.
I told you why I didn't want to see it. I told you why I didn't want to see
it. Dude, okay, let me describe it to you real quick. So this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy's legs. This is the girl. She pushes his legs back like this and proceeds to fuck him like this. But I mean, she's really fucking him. She's like that. And like she doesn't stop. She doesn't slow down. She's fucking like a dude fucks, but she's not like a dude because a dude would come right away. But she's just like that. It's fucking amazing. But anyway, my porn site of choice is
Wait, hold on. Slow down. We gotta talk about that shit for a second. Do you see it like? Do you see that video and do you get turned on, or do you like it more as like a novelty? As in, I can't believe what she's doing. Yeah,
novelty. It's right up there with watching blooper scenes from porn.
Yeah, because dude,
if you've ever hung out with a girl and watched the blooper scenes of porn, it's hilarious because you see them talking behind the scenes and all that shit, and you're just like, wow, this is fucking comedy gold. Yeah. So it's up there with that. Like that is not a turn on. I cannot rub out, like I'm not submissive in nature.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing is not a turn on. But looking at it actually happening is fascinating as fuck. Because I'm like, wow, not everybody fucks the same way. That gal fucks to fuck. Like she's not fucking around. When you throw a man's legs back like a woman, you're not fucking around, man.
Yeah, I feel like you might get submissive though if like homie from the bar would take you home. I feel like in that situation you'd be pretty submissive. You took control.
No, because for one, I cannot imagine having anybody put anything inside of me, and for two, I can't imagine me putting anything inside of a dude, and I can't imagine a dude sucking my dick or me sucking his dick. I just kissed the fucking guy. That was it.
He would see those nails, and he would go, "That's a bottom bitch."
Wow, that is so. God, I fucking missed you. Holy shit! I was so scared that this interview wasn't gonna have our like little pieces of gold that
Why?
only you and I shared during. Well, because it's a little bit manufactured, dude. I actually wrote down plot points to mention during this fucking interview,
Dude, that's
which
why I was like,
I wasn't gonna do it. I
yeah,
wasn't gonna do it, but I sat there and I was just like, fuck. I gotta touch on, does he get showered? I'm doing this just for the pussy,
yeah.
my nails, and naked and weed. I'm not
Yeah,
naked yet, but I'll start smoking weed. That was my plot points for the whole evening.
that's fine. All I'll say is this, though. That's why I was like, chill in the messenger, because this shit, we got to approach it like a normal call, you know?
This is a normal call.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So, all right. X videos. X videos is what you use.
Yeah.
Now, here's what is kind of sensitive. We all, as you say, almost everyone watches this shit, but you know, every porn site for some fucking reason has that share button. It has the Facebook icon, it has the Twitter icon, and imagine the fucking heart drop when you accidentally click the icon to share that shit. Why are we so scared of the world knowing that we watch what everyone fucking watches?
Perception. Fucking weird fucking perceptions. Man, everybody that's been in a relationship has probably jerked off in front of their significant other because, dude, this shit's fucking hot. Your girl fucking take care of herself, looking at you. Your girl getting off. Like my wife, God rest her soul, used to say she loved watching me do that shit. I thought that was dumb as shit, but I loved watching her do it, and I thought that shit was awesome. So I assume that most relationships. Pat, you ever jerked off watching Amy?
Well, no.
No. All right,
I mean,
so you're just you are a weird motherfucker.
No, dude. Normally, I would say this. Like, I don't want to comment on most things personally. I would do it sexually in a relationship. I will say, like, watching someone else pleasure themselves doesn't do anything for me. Never has.
Nah, man, that shit's fucking dope.
All right, dude. But hold on. All right, so, you mentioned that this is the first time that you shared a porn clip. I want to tell you something, and this is a confession from me, okay?
Yeah.
It was back in like nearly shut up, buddy. Like 2012 when my career was first starting to, you know, take off, get some gigs. I had Robinhood going, and I was starting to get people on my social media who weren't just like homies. You know, it was people who were reading the books, interested in what I was going to post. I mistakenly was watching a video. Well, no, the video watching was on purpose. I was looking for a specific video, right? I mistakenly shared it though. I wanted to press pause, and some fucking how I shared the link to Facebook of a titty fucking video, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I deleted it, and then I took like spam links and I sent it to like 25 people. Okay, just random spam links, and I posted on Facebook, "Hey, my account was hacked. I'm so sorry. If you received a spam link from me or received anything weird in your news feed, I've taken care of it. Changed the password. It was a mistake."
That's why I like being me, because if I posted that shit, I'd be like, "You got me."
Yeah, now I would. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
I mean, we're older now, you know.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Dude, I missed the beginning of the conversation where you said you first started getting gigs and then you accidentally shared it. Now it makes a whole bunch of sense. So, I mean, what it boils down to is there's, especially when you're young in your career, for us in general, I don't think regular people apply to our rules. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a share button. Because I go on fucking Twitter sometimes and regular people are sharing fucking porn and shit.
They shouldn't be doing that shit, but yeah.
I'm just like, well, I guess you're not afraid of your job seeing this shit. You're just, not to say regular people. I just mean people that pursue creative endeavors as their occupation. We are concerned with how we're perceived for fear of us losing the gig, losing the perception that we are, that we can make people money, that kind of shit, where it gets like, I've talked to some people, I mean, on both sides. Some people are for the vaccine, some people are against. But there's this massive line of people in both lines that are like, I don't want to talk about my personal beliefs online for
Yeah.
fear they'll damage their business. And I'm just kind of like, I've gotten to that really nice, secure place in my career where I just don't give a fuck. So what I say is entirely me without any reservation.
Yeah, because
Hence
it's
why I
different
said I
early
don't
on.
do this for the pussy. You know, it's just like, you know.
Yeah, it's just different early on. Like someone sees like one or two Zenoscope credits to my name, adds me on Facebook, and the fucking first thing they see is Gianna Michaels. You know, like like that can't be. That
Who's
can't
Jenna
be.
Michaels? Oh,
Gianna
that's
Michaels.
funny.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny. I get it now. Yeah, that's fucking cute as shit.
yeah.
So, Pat, what kind of porn do you watch on the internet? What's your thing?
I like to watch porn with women. You know, a woman.
I love how you avoided that question.
Yeah, I'll watch a video with like a woman and a guy, or a woman and like a stationary object. No handheld shit, just a stationary object. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh shit, that's funny as fuck. I did not think you were gonna answer that, man. Like, holy shit, like you're right, dude. Everybody watches these things, but it's so taboo to speak about it in fucking public settings.
yeah,
But
I don't
enough
mind
about
speaking
that
about it.
shit.
Sorry?
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
How do you fucking do it, man? You're so prolific.
Oh, am I though,
Like,
dude?
how do you balance out having a marriage, having a wife,
Yeah.
having to take care of these horrible fucking four-legged demons that live in your house that you're allergic to? Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Shan loves fucking cats. He loves them, but he's allergic to them. He has to take medication to be around these fucking four-legged demons. And if you like cats, I'm not going to say fuck you too, but dogs are better.
Here's the thing. Here's why dog people are so weak mentally, right? If a dog person sees a video of a cat, the dog person will go, "This is why I don't like cats. Dogs are better." They need that affirmation. A cat person is confident enough to watch a video of a dog and say, "That's cute," and go about their fucking day, because they know that they have where the fucking heart is. They don't need to make other people believe this shit. So you know what, dude? You can believe whatever you want about cats, papa.
Did you just make this shit up?
What?
Did you just troll me on a podcast with that weak ass shit? Dude, fucking anybody sees a kitten, it's the most adorable fucking thing on the planet. I don't care if you don't like cats, you don't, whatever your fucking thing is.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, ugh, fucking cats. This is why I don't like cats. Nobody
Not
says
true.
that shit.
Not true, bro.
That was so weak. I am going to spend the rest of my week looking for people who don't like cats, and I'm going to post kitten videos. And I'm going to be like, isn't that still cute? And they're going to be like, yeah, dude, that's cute as shit.
Nah,
Because
dude,
nobody hates a kitten.
it's not true. Go on any video of a cat and you'll see these motherfuckers. But
It's weak. You're weak.
it's okay. It's bro. It's okay.
But back to the subject. Like, dude, you have written so many your own creator-owned books. You fucking write novels. Like, that's huge to me because I think writing a novel is one of the hardest endeavors in the world. And you write comics for other companies, and you write fast as fuck. Do you still write fast as fuck, or is your wrist starting to fuck with you now?
I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Okay.
Go for it.
Why are you on my dick, dude?
Well, because, ladies and gentlemen, I learned that when you do a podcast with somebody else, you should always at least ride their dick just a little bit, especially when it's your friend. Like, true story, me and Pat have been friends for pretty close to a decade, yeah?
I'd say a decade, starting about later on this year. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read any of his shit except for, what's the New York weird thingy?
Why is it weird, bro? Why you gotta say fucking weird?
The gay in between shit. What's it called? Native New York.
You know what it's called. You do
New York,
Destiny,
right. Destiny New York.
There you go.
Yeah, Destiny New York. That shit. That gay shit. I love that gay shit.
Yeah.
I've only read that first gay ass volume. It was amazing. It was so good.
Sure
and
was.
Girls and Kissing Girls. I like that shit. I know Pat don't like that shit, but I like that shit.
What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about like sexually.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, I've known him for almost a decade. That's the only book of his I've read. Like I read Robin Hood back when he was writing it because I was the editor and shit. But other than that, I ain't read shit. Pat wrote my Wonderland. I ain't even read. I think I read one of them. I think I read the last one because I had to.
What you mean?
But
The only Wonderland that I wrote, we wrote together until the final one. Shit like Asylum.
No, the ongoing, the last issue of the ongoing. Remember
That's the only
the
one
epilogue?
I wrote.
Yeah, that's the only one. Yeah.
The other stuff was done by other writers before me. I only came in for the last issue. Yeah.
I didn't read none of their shits, dude. And I think Dave Chappelle or somebody said it best that reading a character that you helped create, with somebody else writing it, is like watching your girl fuck somebody else. And it's like I could do it better. I could fuck so much better than that. That's exactly what it looks like. And that's why I don't read other people's writing.
Well,
characters that I created.
I did read your Van Helsing though.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I bloody appreciate that so bloody much.
Here he goes.
You're a bloody good friend.
Bro.
So for people who don't know, my English accent, my British accent in fucking comics is throwing in the word bloody at least once an issue. That's how you know she's British.
See, that's fine. That's fine, but you use bloody in your statuses. You use it as if you're actually fucking saying this shit.
I am actually saying this. It's bloody fucking awesome, man.
It sounds so weird.
The crazy thing is, so I'm a black male, an islander black male with nails painted, who says bloody in his common day language and dude like a surfer guy. I'm a fucking collection of weird fucking juxtapositions.
It's true. Keep them all but the bloody. It's just
getting rid of it, dude.
I messaged you this. It would be as if
because it gets you every time, and I'm like, this is like when Pat posts that he loves the first Thor better than any Marvel movie. It's like, don't fuck with me, man.
Dude, every time you say it, you exaggerate it a little bit more. I think Thor is great. It isn't the best one. It's great.
You said it was the best one.
Dude, I said it was the best one when there were like fucking 7 of those movies. Now there's a lot more movies. The Avengers movies are mostly better, but Thor's still a top 10.
Which do you think is the best one?
Fuck.
Of all of them.
The first Avengers?
No, of all the fucking Marvel movies.
The first Avengers.
The first Avengers?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's better than Thor.
Thor's in the top 10 though, easy. Well, Thor 1 is the best of the Thors.
Sorry, I'm almost there. Keep going. I'm listening to this fictional writing that you're doing with your voice right now, and it's getting me.
I want to go back to what we were talking about before, though, dude. I want to talk about how it's different with how you see your career and your perception is different than when you first started. Because you are someone, you don't hold back in any way. Sometimes I want to message you and be like, yo, delete that fucking status. But it's also cool that you don't, you don't really think about what other people think. And what changed in your life that got you there?
Nothing. I've always been this way. I've literally always been this way. Because you see how you were just saying that shit? Ralph used to call me sometimes and be like, dude, stop posting on Facebook. Cut the shit out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ban you from Facebook, Raven. I'm gonna ban that's Ralph's voice, by the way, for those who don't know. I'm gonna ban you from Facebook, Raven. Raven, dude, come on. What are you doing? Yeah. So yeah, man, I've always fucking been that way. I don't have a filter. This is not me trying to be cool or anything. I just write what is in my head. Sometimes it's because I'm drunk. Sometimes it's because I'm high. Sometimes it's because I'm sober, which I'm currently 24 days sober. Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
But yeah, I've always been that way. To me, and this is quite honestly, this is some real shit. To me, the shit I write on Facebook after years of looking back on the specific things I wrote,
Yeah.
it's almost as important as the books I work on, because everything I write in a comic book, it's me in some way or form, and it's me expressing certain things. Sometimes it's set within a parameter of what the story is, but I can still, in some way or form, take the character that's in the story and infuse whatever I feel into that character and bring it out. With posting on Facebook, it's like sitting on I don't know if anybody's ever had therapy before. I highly recommend it if you can get a good therapist. But it's like sitting there and you're just sharing your thoughts and feelings. I think there's a I think there's a massive detriment to doing that, especially after seeing, I don't know if you've seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
I'm scared to watch it.
Dude, you got to check that shit out. It's fucking insane. But like the idea that when you and I accept friends on Facebook and you and I share our thoughts or personal opinions on things or comment on things happening in the world, the only people who are seeing that are the people that we choose to be our friends in our circle. And most of the times, Facebook is actively trying to find people who will interact with you the way you want to be interacted with, versus saying something that might go against your personal beliefs. This is why everybody on your fucking Facebook is a Biden supporter, is a Democrat,
That's
because
not true for me.
well, for me, I don't see anybody say shit about Trump on my wall at all. I see it every once in a while, and I know that that's Facebook. That's not. I don't think it's healthy to put yourself in a fucking bubble where everybody's just like this. We're all,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I've always been that way. I've always been the guy who's like, whatever's in my fucking head, I don't think about, I'm not going to put it out there, or this might offend somebody, or I don't want people looking at me a certain way. Like, I've just never really given a fuck. It's a very weird place to get to, considering I was a fat kid growing up. So getting to that place where you're secure with your body, you're secure with your own thoughts, you know, it's a place you just get to. You get old enough, you just don't give a fuck. But I was born with that mindset.
I what you said about being a fat kid does hit me. You know, there was growing up, that makes me think about things I haven't thought about in a long time. Like, I remember when I was with my first long-term girlfriend, I made the quiet, conscious decision. I was like, wow, now that I'm with her, I can't like wear a shirt in the pool anymore. I have to seem as if I'm more confident than I am. So now the shirt in the pool, shirt in the beach shit, that's gotta go, dude. I just gotta be a fucking fat guy at the beach.
Dude, we have to at some point in time make a story where there's a fat kid with a shirt on in the pool. You never see it in movies, but that's some real shit. I remember being that fucking kid
Yeah.
who wore a fucking shirt. What the fuck was wrong with us that society made us wear, made us believe we had to wear a fucking shirt? And it was never a white shirt. It was always a fucking dark colored
Always,
shirt,
dude.
because we didn't want you seeing through the fat, you
Yeah,
know?
bro. I mean, yeah, I just had pool shirts, you know?
Yeah,
It's
don't go swimming at a lake with your shirt. Shirt come out all dirty and shit.
yeah.
And you're a fat kid wearing a dirty, wet shirt, and everybody else is like muscly and skinny, and fuck them.
Yeah, bro. I wore shirts to the beach, to the pool until I was like 21.
Do you know I always felt weird about trying to swim naked. I could never do it. Everybody would go skinny dipping, and I'd be like, I don't want to pull my dick out. I'm not proud of it right now.
Yeah, it feels good on the balls though, you know, like it's I
Oh,
don't know.
it's nice.
I
It's
I
freeing.
I've never skinny dipped like around like dudes though, so it was never a matter of like comparing dicks and stuff, you know? Like
Hey Pat, you ever fuck in the ocean?
absolutely no. No, of course not, dude.
I heard it's not good.
I salt, I imagine it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, but I fucked in the ocean. That shit was awesome.
the whole water thing is just not sexy to me. Like it doesn't feel
No, it's
comfortable
not.
being in the water.
It's not. It's not fun, but it's cool to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm
Hey,
not gonna be doing
hey,
that shit, but
so Pat, what books are you working on right now?
wait, no, dude. I want to talk about what you were just talking about first. Don't move on yet. I'm interested in what you're saying about you've always been this way. But has there been any time where you posted something and you have ended up like having repercussions, regretted it, anything like that?
No, I've deleted some posts. I can't remember what they were, but for whatever reason, I wasn't self-conscious about them. I was just kind of like, that's stupid. That sounds dumb. And then I'd erase it or something like that. But no, I mean, the only repercussions I ever had was I'd get a phone call from my editor and be like, Raven, dude, stop. Just stop. Get off the internet. You're not allowed on Facebook for the rest of the day. That was basically it. And then I went back on Facebook.
Yeah, I think
So
we've both grown though in that way, like looking back. And this is a thing that I think people have had a misconception about as far as my opinions. Because I wrote in Prison Witch Volume 1, which is a book that I work on with my wife Amy, the dedication that I put in the book is to you. And the dedication is it makes reference to us having escaped a creative prison that we've been in. And people misinterpret that as me saying that being able to work for Zenoscope was a creative prison. No, the creative prison was being able to only work for Zenoscope. There was a time where we were employees, and that was a blessing at the time, but it was a thing that also kind of corrupted our work there, because I think that what we both realized, and I was actually talking to Joe Brush about this recently, was that in our time there, we were the other writers with Joe and Ralph. Joe and Ralph run Zenoscope, so they were doing what we wanted to do. They could
yeah,
make their ideas however they wanted. We were seeing ourselves as writers with them, but we it was just a struggle to realize that we needed our own outlet because we were trying to make their books our outlet as opposed to writing what we were hired to write, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
we were, yeah, just like looking back, it was difficult for creatives to be employees because we had to be that way. That's what we were hired to do. But it's very difficult when you're an artist and you have to also kind of like meet a company's standards. That looking back, I more understand and empathize with notes that we were given, with behavioral things that were talked about, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I give my hats off to Joe and Ralph because I mean, we don't think about it because we've never been put in that situation, but we have an inkling of it. But just imagine how many people they have, how many personalities they have to deal with
Yeah.
on a daily basis is fucking insane. Because I blow deadlines like a motherfucker. Could you imagine having to deal with that many people that I mean, and even people that hit deadlines, life happens and shit gets fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you gotta roll with the blows. I just found out that I can't get a cover colored by an artist who I really wanted to color this thing. So now I gotta find something else. So you're always like rolling with the fucking blows. So I couldn't even imagine having to deal with that many fucking people and fucking manage those kind of personalities because we're weird motherfuckers, you know.
Yes, and
Like shit. I
we're in
just now
different ways.
discovered what's that gland between the asshole and the balls
Oh,
that if you
bro.
what's it called again? The prenatal?
The pituitary.
No, it's not. Get the fuck out of here. He tried to get me. That was
The,
dope.
the, the,
Yeah,
the
no, I just
perineum,
found that out,
the
man.
perineum.
Yeah. 43 years old. I just found out about this shit. Still haven't figured out how to make it work, but
Bro,
I know of its existence now. So
yeah.
yeah. I like how we just transitioned to, you know what, Joe and Ralph, I couldn't imagine doing that to, hey, what's that thing between the asshole and the balls?
Bro, we didn't do that. You did that. I mean, I'm like kind of pulling stuff together. I feel like one of the I feel like a policeman in a murder movie, you know, there's the map and like all these different instances. I was like, oh, Raven has nail polish on, boom. Raven's kissing dudes at bars, boom. Raven's been talking about the fucking perineum a lot, boom. And I put all the strings together, and that shit spells gay.
Oh man, dude, this is the greatest podcast of all time. But
if you come out as gay, I'm gonna accept you 100%. Though you know that, right?
No, I don't like dick. I don't like, dude. I barely like my own dick.
What if it was a really small one, though? You know?
No, fuck that shit, dude. I don't like dick.
I mean,
and I like feminine looking men. So it's like, dude, it was just a little bend. It was just the fucking alcohol, because I've never done it sober. Who knows, man? I don't fucking know. But I like how you turned and twisted this into, wow, look at all these pieces. If I was a writer and Raven was in my story, the story ends with him fucking a dude.
Yeah, it didn't take that much twisting, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Now I gotta do something about the nail polish, because I'm like, okay, this shit went too far.
No, dude, I'm just fucking with you. I think it's cool.
No, I'm just fucking with you too. I don't give a fuck. Remember, that was the point of the story.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, hold on. You guys don't know this, but when you have family that are from the islands, we talk shit to each other. That's how you know an old person from the islands likes you. If you walk into the house and they're like, you gained some weight, you're getting fat over there. That's their way of saying they love you. So Pat's on the phone with me, and I start yelling at my mom, and my mom starts yelling at me, and we're going back and forth talking shit. And Pat's like, you talk to your mother that way? And I'm like, dude, fuck, you don't know what she be saying to me. So I'm like, dude, this is how we show our fucking love. Like, if my mom doesn't say something mean to you, she doesn't like you. If she's nice to you, she don't like you.
I feel you, but it's also like, it's the opposite of the stereotype. A white guy telling you to watch your mouth to your mom, you know? White guys are known for talking shit to their moms, but dude, I couldn't. Like, the worst thing I ever said to my mom, in her opinion, was I was joking around, and I said, don't be a jerk. And she thought that jerk was mad offensive. And I was like, God damn, jerk? Jerk? You know?
Hey, has your mom read your Destiny, New York, New Jersey?
Bro, let me tell you something.
Has she read your Jail Witch yet?
Prison Witch? No, I don't think so. Destiny, of course, Destiny New York she's read. Of course.
She read it?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking cool, man. My mom don't read none of my shit.
She's read most of it. She read Robin Hood all through. She didn't read the Grimm Fairy Tale stuff. She didn't read Charm because she doesn't know the show. Godstorm, she read more stuff in the past that was freelance, because now I do more creator owned, and that she does read. Yeah.
Well, so was your mom pretty supportive of you, like getting into writing and shit early on, or?
Oh, fully, yeah, fully. That's one thing that I know that I feel blessed about, that she supported me from jump. Like, even my dad supported me and was proud of me when speaking about me to other people. But the truth was, he would. There'd be instances, right, where I'd be like working late, writing at night, like 2:30 a.m., and he would come and tap on my shoulder, and he would go, I can't even fucking say it. He would go, you ever think about just getting a different job? And he was dead ass, you know. And he would say that, and he would say, "Do you ever think about being a cop like your brothers? Do you ever think about doing this, picking up a trade?" And every time I would just be like, "Nah, no."
I would have loved to see you as a cop. We never would have wrote together, but I would love to have gotten pulled over by you, Officer Shand.
It's hard because, like,
the least intimidating police officer.
I think that, nah, dude. I think that you forget how I am some ways, dude. Like I feel like my voice. I come into situations hot, dude. Like I remember that there was one time at a convention. I think it was New York, and we had a panel, and this dude in the front kept asking questions and interrupting like you and Ralph, and he did it like a third or fourth time, and I was like, "Yo, shut up," you know, and like I just came into the situation hot, answering his question, and you looked at me and you're like, you can't talk to him that way. He's a fan, you know? And I don't know, dude. I feel like I have that kind of like hot Irish blood in me.
Wow, I drank a lot of alcohol because I don't remember that shit at all. Vaguely, like a little inkling of that. And the fact that I'd be like, yeah, you can't talk to fans that way. You need to talk to fans that way. Shut the fuck. No, I'm just playing.
Well, yeah, we were leaving, and after the panel was over, you were like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I mean, that's just." I felt he was disrespecting, and you said, "This isn't your classroom," you know, you know.
That's right. That's when you were teaching.
Yeah, I was teaching.
That's when we were still teaching. That's fucking funny as shit.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, you were a Professor Shand.
Yeah.
I forget about that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of porn with professors.
First, let me tell you something. I want you to do me a favor, okay, and pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's fucking dope. That's dope. Hey, so, but for real, so answer me this, because I've always loved this fucking story.
Okay.
Do you remember that singular moment where you were like, I'm gonna be a fucking writer?
This is gonna sound so cock, but the truth is, ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a writer. I knew it was gonna happen. Always.
Right.
Always.
Right. Yeah, but wasn't there a moment where it was just like,
the closest that I can get is this. This is, I'll keep it brief, but there was a time when I was working at a bookstore and I was working on a novel at the same time. And a young adult agent came into the store and was talking about, she works for this company. And as she was there, I was on the register, which had the internet. I was like looking her up and shit. I was like, oh my God, she's legit, So I took her contact info down to put her in our system, and I wrote her email down separately for myself. Mm-hmm. Took it home, emailed her. I said, listen, I know that this is inappropriate, but we had a cool talk today, and I have a novel. I would love for you to read it. And I got a yes back from her. I sent it to her. And I remember when I was at my friend Steve's house. We were all on his front lawn. I was just like on the grass laying down, and I got an email on my old ass phone, and I read it, and she asked for me to submit to her a full manuscript because she liked the first 30 pages. And in that moment, I was like, this is going to happen pretty soon for me. Even though like that's not, like, looking back, it wasn't as big of a deal as I gave it credit for in my head, but it was the first time that I had someone who was a professional, a major professional. She ended up becoming the agent who's behind the Divergent series, which is a huge young adult series. And right. It made me realize that it wasn't just in my head, I guess, like I didn't have like that. I was already good enough to get a response, I guess, So I remember laying back. What?
Did you ever finish the manuscript?
Yeah.
Did she take it?
No. She said, it was a long back and forth, about a year. And this ends up with me kind of like screwing the pooch in a way. But with this first book, I submitted the full manuscript. She gave notes. I did a huge overhaul, and she read it again and gave notes, all great notes too. And then she said that she's going to take it to her partners. Because at the time, she was a agent working for a larger agent at her agency. And she took it before them, and they declined. But then later on, she got her own agency after she got Divergent going. So about 4 years ago, I took a trip down to her office, had a meeting in the office, pitched her four ideas, and she said to send her 4 manuscripts. And then I ended up getting a bunch of gigs, and I just couldn't do it. So maybe one day I'll follow through. But the more immediate work for hire stuff took precedence, so I could feed the family. But yeah, that's one thing that I wish that I had been able to carve the time out for. But it's like you said, like there's only so much that you could do as a writer. Like you say that I'm prolific, and I am, but there's also like when I make these deals, there's an obligation that I build that really does put a limit on what else I'm able to take in.
Well, I mean, finish what you were saying about you were laying back on your bed.
Oh yeah, when she sent the email that she wants to see those pages, I was in my buddy Steve's front lawn, and I laid back on the grass like a fucking character in a movie, and I was like looking up at the sky, and I was just like, wow, like this is like a moment for me.
That's fucking awesome, dude. That's a beautiful. My click moment was I wrote this Halloween fucking rip off something stalker thing where this dad killed his son and his son came back to life and killed his dad. Got revenge. I was a weird kid. I was like 10 or 12 years old when I wrote it. It was 2 pages or maybe just 1 page. But I wrote it and I was with my brother and he was hanging out with his friends and my brother read it. And my brother Ozzy, 6 years older than me, started bragging to all his friends about how good it was.
Yeah.
And the second he did that, that seed was planted. Like just like you, I'd been a writer my whole life.
Yeah.
But that was the moment where I was like, and then the only other moment was this girl was talking shit in English. And I was like, dude, I could write something so good it'd make your panties wet. Yeah. And she was like, no, you couldn't. So I was like, fuck this shit. Sat down, started writing, wrote this 2 pages of something. Then I slipped it to her, and I'm watching her, and I'm looking over during class, and I see her reading it. And then I see her start doing this shit with her legs.
God damn, dude. All right.
And I'm like, she starts like squirming in her seat a little bit. And I'm just like, dude, I'm a writer.
All right. The first story is real good.
Those were my two things where I was just like, yeah, dude, you have a way with words. You could fucking do. I've never gotten a handle on it though. After that, yeah. And I'm sure it was shitty because I've read stuff from high school. Yeah. I'll come across stuff. But I've never in my life been able to write sex scenes or sexual scenes.
I ask you that, dude. Why haven't you, if that's what you were doing back then, you haven't really done erotica, which is funny because people who don't read Zenescope assume that what we do on those books is write fucking porn, which isn't true,
Right.
So, yeah, why haven't you tried to take that jump?
Well, I did Irresistible.
It's not porn.
Yeah, basically. It was, dude, there was so much fucking in that book. Yeah. I mean, but yeah. the kind of scenes I'm talking about are there's a style to writing that can be very sexual in the description of the events. Yeah. Not so much in comics, but especially in novels. Like writing it prose, like trying to write something sensual in prose, it's right up there with writing journalism. It's a totally different part of your brain. So when I asked that question online, I was genuinely interested in, I want to see what sexy writing looks like, because when I see it, I recognize it for what it is. When I write it, it doesn't come across as visceral as, say, when a woman writes it. A woman writes it and it's just like, as long as it's not Twilight, it's just fucking sensual. It's fucking, there's just something to it. Like, I think women writers in particular just have a style that, I mean, I write a lot of female characters, but just listening to my girls talk, there's a fucking style to writing women properly, especially if you're not exposed to them in everyday life. Like you have Amy, you can hear the dialogue happening right in your, presence.
Yeah.
All I have is, my mom and my 2 daughters, and you know that's for kids. But even
Yeah.
like the crazy thing is if I see them around their other friends,
Yeah.
their conversation patterns completely fucking change. They're 100% a different person. Just like when I'm talking to you, well, I talk to everybody the same fucking way. But most people, like, you're different depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to your parents, if you're talking to a friend, if you're talking to a fan, there's this switch over in our brains. And yeah, man, I just have nothing but admiration for female writers because they have a voice. They have a voice that cannot be duplicated, no matter how hard we try.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said all that shit. Now I sound like I'm defending women. Fuck that shit. I'll take your job, motherfucker.
No.
I'm coming for your gig. If you're a woman writer, I'm taking your shit because you equal, and I believe that my blackness and your femaleness can be like switched. Give me a job, motherfucker. There. Now I feel better. I was being way too feminine there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that what you're saying is true. Most people do like have a code switching kind of behavior where they talk in different ways to different groups. I have tried to not do that. Like now I feel like I can talk to my mom the same way I talk to a friend. Like I don't have to candy coat what I say. I can just be myself. The only difference with me as far as talking to different people is that I have a different level of like how I can joke around certain people. Some people can't take a joke. You know, some people don't know what a joke really is and won't understand. Like I couldn't roast my buddies the same way that I roast you about your nails if they're not on that level. You know, if they aren't a certain way. Some people are just like dead ass all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? What's always kind of tripped me out a little bit? Fucking I'll get these messages on Facebook pretty much on a regular basis, like once every couple months maybe. But I always get the same fucking message. And it's, dude, I really appreciate how real and open you are about the shit you're going through.
Yeah.
Like it's real, like you're a real fucking person. And I sit there and I'm like, who the fuck isn't a real fucking person? We're all fucking real fucking people. Like this is who we fucking are.
Are we though, dude?
Are there people out there who really fucking make up a perceived notion of themselves and that's their character online? Like, is that a real fucking thing?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more common than it is to be real. I think
All
that
right.
yeah.
Hey, internet, cut that shit out and be yourself. If you're a horrible fucking person, I want to see it so I can block you and keep my bubble of just sane peopleness.
Yeah, dude, because people talk about like their brand. They have to say things, do things, post things, create things that fit into a box. Whereas, like, I mean, I purposely try to like keep it diverse. I remember there was a time where I was writing books for Avatar and Boundless primarily. Avatar is a hardcore horror, and Boundless has a lot of sexuality, nudity, and it's from the same company as Avatar is. They're essentially sister companies, so the art style is very similar. So I was doing these like hardcore adult books where on Crossed I would see this gore. On Boundless I would just see the nuts hanging out, you know. So I was like, I have to do something that shows that this is not just me. I want to do other stuff too. So that's when I started to take more kids gigs. At the same time as I was doing those books, I was doing like Casper, Underdog, that kind of shit, just to show, to not be in a box, to not have a brand. Because the last thing I want to do is to be seen one certain way. I want someone to read a book by me and then read a different book and not believe it's the same motherfucker, you know?
That's cool. I mean, that's really weird, but I mean,
Why is that weird? Why?
Well, no, because it's not fucking weird, and it's a beautiful fucking thing. But in my head, this feels exactly what I was telling you about earlier about the guy with the nails and shit.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I automatically went to, well, but that's not really building a brand. I get what you're saying. It's very Stephen King in nature, where he just writes all these different types of stories, but occasionally he steps out of his normal stories to do something different. And you can see him, like, sometimes he'll write screenplays, sometimes he'll write fucking scripts. Like, I get that concept, but in my head for a second there, I automatically was like, yeah, but that's not really building a brand, because your brand has to be recognizable as something that you do versus something that you're doing to artistically stretch those muscles.
That's exactly what I'm saying,
So,
is that I don't want to build a brand.
yeah, right.
I want to build
But
an
that's why I
actual
said
brand.
weird, because initially I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, money, money, money. This is how you're supposed to do things.
Yeah.
But how you're supposed to do things, the key to this entire fucking craft is doing what you don't want to freaking do, doing something different, being your own person instead of, I mean, look at even Eric. You know, Ebass is known for his ass, is known for his sexual covers, his beautiful women. Every once in a while, you see him stretch his art skills, and the dude's fucking phenomenal. You know, you can see that he's not pigeonholed in just one thing, but that's what he's fucking known for. But I
Is
get
that
what
true,
you're
though?
saying. Huh?
Is he not known as that, though? You know what I'm saying?
He is, but still, the guy has chops. You know, like his fucking the Batman piece he did a Harley Quinn Batman piece or Joker piece, and it was just artistically, it was just fucking gorgeous. So gorgeous that it was quickly stolen and used on a t-shirt online by
Oh,
somebody that doesn't pay him any money. It was fucked up, dude.
that is fucked up. Yeah, I mean, maybe the thing is this though. Like, I try to challenge my perceptions about brand, because, like, I see someone talk about brand, and I'm like, nah, that's like death of art type shit. That's not what it is to be an artist. But at the same time, maybe on the other hand, that's what they want to fucking draw. Maybe that's their brand because they just like drawing that shit, you know? So
Yeah.
maybe fuck me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's whatever. Literally, it's do you. I hate that phrase, but it's do you. You know, whatever makes you fucking happy. I mean, that's kind of the point. That's the whole reason we got into writing to begin with, was to do something that made us fucking happy. Why would we taint that in any way whatsoever?
Yeah.
Especially chasing a fucking dollar, you know?
Yeah. Do you
But
feel
it's so hard, because even, like, so here's the thing. I personally would love to put out a comic book cover that didn't feature any cheesecake aspect whatsoever, that was just really artsy.
yeah,
I've done that once. It was
fly?
very expensive. I got a David Mack cover, and the book did not sell. And it was this beautiful fucking art piece, and I love it to this day. But I know my audience, and it sucks, because there's a part of me that's like, I want to be the writer that I can let the story stand on its own 2 feet. Like Secret Life of Crows, I feel that story, not many people have seen it, but that story stands on its 2 feet. No matter what cover is there, that fucking story elevates and goes beyond what a comic book can and should be. That one right there is something special. But I'm afraid of putting out a comic book that doesn't have that kind of brand recognition on the cover, just because I've seen what happens if I don't. And I want the most people possible to read my shit.
Well,
So to that extent, I'm scared. You're more brave than me.
wait a second. Wait a second. There are extenuating circumstances that made that cover for Fly maybe not perform how you wanted. Okay. And I'll break it down for you.
Right.
That wasn't Fly number one. That was Fly volume 2, number 1. Right. So
Yeah.
immediately, retailers, customers are going to be less likely to try something new, even if it has an amazing cover. That's number 1. Number 2
Right.
is that not only had you built that brand, of how Raven Gregory comics should look. You put out the book through Zenescope, who has a very similar brand. So when you make a move that doesn't match that, it's sort of like when you're in the pool, doing whirlpool, then you switch it up and you feel the resistance. Of course, that first one wasn't going to work, but if it's a thing that
Yeah.
you want to do consistently, I think that you can do it over time, and do it in a
Yeah.
way that it allows more new people in the door. Like a new number one for a brand new title with that kind of cover from you might do better now because it's a new story. It's something brand new. It isn't something that people would have to read a book that does have the cheesecake covers to understand before picking up a volume 2 number one that doesn't. Is my
Right.
perception, But also, I think that it's healthy for creatives to do every few years something entirely new. Like
Mhm.
I want to challenge myself into my career to keep like switching it up. And I think that what you're doing actually with these podcast appearances, you did Wickline, which was a great episode, and you're doing this. I think that putting your face out there more and speaking more, having people hear your voice more, you're helping to build what you've been building your whole career. Is that you want people to invest in Raven Gregory, not just Wonderland, not just Fly, not just Widow's Web, Crows, but in the person.
Yeah.
That's important, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys invest in me. You put it all in me. Like, just fucking shove that investment right in such a fucking
Yeah, cover him with it.
shit.
Cover him with the
Oh,
investment all over his face.
but hey, here's the counterpoint to that whole conversation about me wanting to do something more artsy on covers,
Yeah,
something that gives the story a chance to be something completely different. On the other side of that conversation, I also like titties. I'm a huge fan of fucking beautiful women on my fucking covers. I've always been a huge fan of this fucking art style. So on one side, I got the artsy guy who wants to do. I think like something like Magic will have covers like that. They'll all be. I don't know if you've seen the first one where them sitting under the ocean.
of course.
It's all gonna be like that. I'm gonna see if Stephen Cummins will just do all the covers for the series, and it'll just be these beautiful, fucking amazing, serene, peaceful covers to be the juxtaposition of the fucked up shit that happens inside the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like it's a catch-22. It's like, well, I like titties, but I also like artsy. So I'm constantly at war with myself, and at the end of the day, I know what's gonna make money, so I just fucking make money.
Yeah. Do you feel you mentioned earlier that some writers sell their soul or change their intention to make money? What do you feel about your career as a whole? Do you look at it and are there any projects that you look at and go, I shouldn't have done that, or projects that you are less proud of? Or do you look at it as someone who's proud of everything that they've done? Because I've I've taken so many gigs where the truth is that there is, for me personally, a separation from what I take for passion and what I take, to pay the bills as a writer, which is also part of the dream. What's your look back? Do you look back and see certain gigs as mistakes or no?
No, I don't look back at all.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I wish there was more of a elaborate, like, well, for one, I mean, if everyone in the internet isn't aware, I'm a recovering alcoholic. So for one, my mental faculties are damaged by years and years of drinking. I don't really look back on any stories. I mean, they're all pieces of the puzzle that make me who I am today. Stories that I'm invested in are always the last story that I wrote or whatever I'm working on right now. After having written so many stories, like it's over 300 stories by far now, you, you don't even, like, at the beginning of your career, you look back at all these things and you're just like, but now with this kind of hindsight, I can look back at everything and just be like, it's all just a piece of the puzzle. Like if I wasn't an alcoholic, I would never have been able to write some of the stories that I wrote.
Yeah.
because that was a part of me at the time that came out. Like I remember I've only gotten "This is the best story you've ever written" a few times in my career. Ralph sent me one, and I specifically remember feeling so weird about it. It was when me and my wife had first got divorced or something, and she told me she was dating somebody else. It's the first time, your girlfriend who you're still talking to tells you she's dating someone else, and it just fucking wrecked me. And I went to the bar and I was drinking and I was writing, and I wrote the Beauty and the Beast myths and legend issue, and it was just so filled with pain and fucking bitterness and just all this anguish. And Ralph fucking wrote me, he's like, "Dude, this is the best shit you've ever written." And I was like, man, but that came from an ugly fucking place. So it's one of those things where, even Widow's Web, I wrote Widow's Web specifically because I said to myself, I don't want to write something based on pain. I don't want to write something that I'm working through. I just want to write a good story. So looking back on my entire career, even like if I got screwed or if a business thing didn't work out the way it was supposed to, it's all just a thing now. It's all just, a piece. Like, I've gotten to that place in life where what's the point of looking back? I mean, I've learned the lessons that I needed to learn. If I haven't, then eventually I will or I won't. So, I don't really, even now, I specifically remember when these stories were my favorite stories ever. I mean, I'm sure you have your favorite stories that you've done or stories that you associate. I have no fucking idea what story we were working on when we went to the Zenescope summit,
Yeah.
where we had to plot out the stories and turn them in, and you and I were there, and you were working through the night, and I kept falling asleep, and then I was like, I'm gonna go lay down on the couch for an hour and then I'll be powered back up, and you would still be writing, and I'd be sitting there and I'd write and then I'd fall asleep, and I'm like, I have no idea what we were fucking writing, but that memory right there will stay with me forever, because I was just like, you were a machine, and I'm like, oh shit, we got to get this done, Pat. And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were slaving away, dude. We
it was
gave
fun stuff.
we gave so much of a fuck, dude. We really gave a fuck.
Yeah, that stuff was, I remember actually, that was the Age of Darkness era. It was the beginning
Yeah,
of Age of Darkness. And I remember that those were the first slate of books that I had a plot credit on when I didn't write the issue. Because I was writing
yeah,
so many of the ongoings that um, I would take notes during the meeting about what you, Joe, Ralph, me were all saying, and I would like write a plot for instance, Oz Age of Darkness, and then give it to Jeff Massey, and
yeah,
yeah, that was a fun time, man. It was.
yeah, yeah. Though that's the shit I look back on. Like, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and walking into my friend's backyard, and looking down and realizing that at some point in the night I was so drunk I peed in the back of somebody's van, and I picked up a t-shirt and put on the t-shirt as if it was a pair of pants.
Gang
So
gang.
for years I was called Shirt Pants by my nearest and dearest.
Yeah.
But that's the shit I look back on. Those wonderful fucking little memories that are just like us sleeping in the same bed. You
What? I don't remember that shit.
don't remember us sleep? We shared a bed in, I think, New
Oh,
York or
I,
something.
it was New York. Now I do.
Yeah, and we had to put pillows between us so you wouldn't hump my leg during the night.
Dude, that was crazy. That was my first ever convention with Zenescope. That was when they debuted the premiere of the animated show.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was wild, man.
That was crazy. I look back and we would be out late night with Zenescope drinking until like 4 and then be up to go at like 7, 8. God, I don't know how the fuck we did that shit.
Yeah, man, that was insane. We had some stamina. we had some stamina back then, because nowadays, yeah, I couldn't even, like, for one, I can't drink at all. For two, I don't know who the fuck can keep those hours and sustain any kind of. But what's funny is I recognized that from the very beginning when I used to hang out and go to shows and do signings and all that fucking yeah bullshit. Not that it's bullshit for the fans, but just it's just a whole entire thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And I always admired the guy. You remember the writer? There's always a writer, and he may not be an A-lister, but he's close to it, and he never hangs out afterwards. He's like, I got to go finish this script.
yeah,
I'm like, that motherfucker. That's the guy right there. You know, that guy right there.
yeah.
That was something. I never could be that guy. I always had to go out and party and hang out with the fellas and hang out with the fans and fucking just get stupid drunk every single time.
Yeah, that's how I was for a long time too. In later years, I did kind of become that guy, but it was less writing too, and more just like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the hotel and sleep because that shit was fucking hard, you know?
Yeah, eventually that's where I got.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, after the show, I'm going to take a nap. And if I sleep through all the parties and shit,
yeah,
I'm fine with that. Like, that's where I got to eventually. But by the time I got there, I couldn't even go in crowds. Like, my anxiety got to this place. I thought I was claustrophobic, but it wasn't claustrophobic. It's as there was the beginning stages of my anxiety starting to become an issue. I can't go in crowds of people anymore. So it's like that combined with, you're getting older and your body's like, I can't go the way I used to go. That was like, whew, yeah, man.
yeah, yeah. Conventions are not a good place if you don't want to be around crowds, dude. It's
Oh, definitely, yeah, man.
fuck.
It's besides the fans, it's just not a good place. It's
No, I
not.
mean it's that's one of the things too. Like I remember you telling me years and years ago, you would say things like, "Oh, you're still hopeful. You still have that like new writer energy, you know." And
Yeah,
one thing that I think that many writers, and I should speak for myself, one thing that I have lost is is enjoying conventions. You know, it's not a thing that I I enjoy anymore. You know, it's I hit my I hit my wall. This dude, I remember this is real. I used to in the early years of my career, I would go to New York Comic Con and
sorry about that.
no, it's okay. On the final day, as I was walking out, I would feel like my heart swell. That ass. I would feel this emotional reaction to it being over. And I would think,
Right.
I'll see you next year, you know? But
Yeah.
now I don't feel that way about anything anymore, dude, you know?
Oh, don't worry, man. So, dude, this is cool because I didn't think I could do this anymore with you. I didn't think I could do the old writer talking to the young writer and just wait convention shit. Because I got you when you first started doing conventions and shit.
That's right. That's right.
So crazy fucking thing. I remember, and it's funny that all this shit kicked off with a really popular writer told me he's going to retire from comics. Like, had a bestseller over at Image, wrote for the biggest book company, biggest books over at DC. Not going to say his name, but
Say his
yeah, he
name,
told
I'll
me he was
bleep
going
it
to
out.
retire. Huh?
Say his name, I'll bleep it out.
Oh, so I was like, yeah, and I started thinking back about how many times in my career I thought about retiring. I've kind of lost the passion for the business.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're first writing and you see your book on the stand, you get this rush that just can't fucking be duplicated. It's the same feeling when you go to your first convention and you walk in the hall and your eyes are wide and you're just looking around and you're like, whoa, and there's this rush in your heart that you feel. I lost that for so fucking long, and only recently I found a way to get it back. And I feel that us as writers, we kind of live in this world of cycles of, depending on who you are, you go through this cycle of life and you're like writing, and writing's the craft, and writing consumes you. And then you go to this point in life where you're like, I have to balance out life with what's really important, you know, relationships, friends,
Yeah.
other passions and shit. And then you go through this part where you're just like, as a writer, I write. This is my job, and you lose the passion. Eventually, something will happen, and it comes back, and it's such a glorious fucking feeling to get it back after you haven't had it for so long. It's so cool, man. So if it's gone, just keep in mind there's a chance it might come back.
What made it
And
come
that's
back
not
to you?
um. So here's what made it happen. Here's what really set it off. And this is why I'm a huge proponent of marijuana. So one day, like it's been coming back, but it wasn't coming back like bam. It's like spiritual enlightenment coming back. So I got really high one day and I'm talking to Nei and I'm just texting her back and forth on Messenger. And I say to her, dude, do you realize that we make comic books? Like, dude, you ever tell somebody you write comics and you can tell they don't get what that really means? Like, writing comics
Yeah.
entails so much behind the scenes
Yeah.
before that book becomes a reality. And I sat there and I was like, Nei, dude, we make fucking comics. Like, can you believe that? We make this shit become reality. This empty idea, we give it form. And it's like my brain did a pop. I was just like, how fucking cool is it that this is our job? Like, man, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And it was like looking at it from telling my 4-year-old self that one day you're going to get to make comic books for a living. And that 4-year-old believes you, and he's like, that's so fucking cool. So that feeling got pushed forward to me right now. And I'm like, it's the coolest fucking, even with all the bullshit, this is the most amazing fucking job in the world. The only thing better would be able to draw, to be able to create the fucking image itself.
Yes.
But we're still creating the fucking image because we're saying what to draw, you know? So yeah, man, I fucking, as soon as that shit dawned on me, all the fucking passion came back. When I see a book on the stand, I'm not like, oh man, I could have wrote that better. I'm like, dude, my book's on the fucking stand. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
I might not have enjoyed writing it, but look at it. Look at her. God, I'm gonna get so much pussy because I wrote this.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna get laid. You guys don't know this, but the only reason I'm writing comic books is to get pussy. So, because I heard women like men who write comic books.
Yeah, all right. I feel what you're saying, and yeah, I have been actively trying to recapture that in some ways. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the creator-owned work that I do, it isn't that it's not fun, because part of it is, but that's a labor of love. So that is just a lot of consistent work. And I also have, I have more of an administrative role in there. It's what you said about Joe and Ralph before. I'm seeing a fraction of what they see every day now, in that I'm dealing with the personalities of these artists. I'm dealing with other people, really seeing who I hire and immediately trying to hire them, because they see what I've done. And it's a consistent job on that angle. So that's that. And then on the work for hire angle, I've enjoyed the gigs that I've gotten, and thank God, they've been consistent, but the truth is that not all of the gigs have been as fun as older stuff. So that's why I also have been fucking with Zenoscope again, because what I'll talk about a bit more about my call with Joe. I was on the phone with Joe, and Joe, I don't want to say too much, but there's a concern, and I feel this as someone who hires people, that a company builds up a creator, and then the creator goes and tries other stuff, and then comes back. And I was like, the truth is, Joe, look at my releases. I am doing other stuff. The reason that I want to come back to Zenescope and write for Zenescope is because Zenescope books are fucking fun to write. It's fun to write with you guys. It's fun to get a plot and to write that plot from someone else's idea. That's fun. That's not how it, like, dude, I'm so tired of getting an idea from a licensor that's like a one sentence idea, and then you turn it into a plot, and they're like, oh, that's great, here's 10,000 notes, and then it's like, wow, this now isn't even close to the original idea. Then I try again, and it's just so corporate. What I loved about Zenescope and what was fun about it was dudes. It was me, you, Ralph, and Joe in a room. And now I get the same feeling in a way from what Dave and Ralph and Joe put together. It feels, when you're writing for that company, it feels so much less corporate. It feels more like you're actually, it feels like you're not talking to the person in charge of an IP. It feels like you're talking to the person who made the IP. It feels more organic, I guess, And that's the thing that I didn't realize back then. Back then, it felt like no matter what note I got, I was like, oh, I wish that they didn't give me that note. Now I'm like, it's just like a game, it's just fun. It's like, oh, that's the challenge now. Now I got to do this.
It in the beginning, it felt like you were being put in a box. And then as an older writer, it feels like I like the box. I like knowing the parameters in which to operate in and doing the best story I possibly can based off that. I feel like that's a cool exercise for any writer to have, because I believe it was Daniel Way who told me. I remember him saying something about writing for Marvel, and he basically said, you're never going to get to tell your story, but you might get to tell their story your way. And that's what you're aiming for. Yeah. And I really took that shit to heart. Like when somebody gives me a story to write, it's their story. I'm going to come up with the best possible story that I can write for this story in these parameters. And it's a very freeing thing once you get past these are all my babies. Oh God, you're so connected. There's something to be said for having an intense connection to the material, but it's also a detriment in some ways if you sit there and say to yourself, like I remember at the very beginning, I thought Callie was mine. You thought Robin was yours.
Yeah.
And we both associated with the development and creation of those characters to such an extent that it blinded us as young writers that these aren't our books. These aren't our stories. They're Zenescope's fucking stories. But as an older writer, you can look at that and you're just free. You're free of all the preconceived bullshit that floats in your mind as a writer. And you're just like, oh, let me paint this house this color. This is the color they want. Let's do this.
It's true. It's 100% true. And it's so hard to see. And it feels like the opposite. Because the truth is, like, writers do have that shorthand, that my character, my story. That's how you refer to things that you've done. And it's hard to separate when you're not doing your creator-owned work. Because, like you said, it's good in some ways to have that box, but it's better to be put in a box when, on the other hand, you do other stuff that isn't in a box. Like Destiny New York, when I do that book and the books that I do through Space Between, there's no box unless I put a box there. With my work for hire, what I haven't liked outside of Zenescope is the shape of the boxes, With Zenescope, it's a shape that I'm more familiar with. It's a shape that I feel is fun. What I want to ask you, though, is this. My recent issue with them came out. It's Van Helsing, The Invisible Woman. And
Yeah, I can't wait to read it, man.
fuck you, bro.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even fucking joking, dude. The covers on that thing are fucking dope as shit.
So sick.
And
Yeah.
and the idea of you writing an invisible woman and how you're gonna pull that off in a comic book, that's intriguing to me. I'm genuinely interested in reading it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That
And the
is,
covers are amazing.
it's true. That is the first book I've done in a while that wasn't one that I kickstarted or one that I created. You know, I do books through Black Mask and stuff. But it's the first time that I've had a single issue gig where, you know, the day that it came out, I was in the city with Amy, and I was like, "Oh, let's stop at the comic store and get that." You know, so that makes me want to ask you this: do you have everything that you've written?
No, no, fuck no.
Same.
Yeah, I've written so like, dude, I used to have all my favorite comic books on the wall of all the books. It was just books I had written, and it covered my entire room.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all the books I'd written. It was my favorite covers from all the books that I've written.
Yeah.
And it covered the entire wall. And eventually I had a manic episode and I just gave them away to a fan or some shit. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't have all my books. There's too many. After a while, you just start you don't really give a shit anymore. You kind of like
that's depressing to me though. Like I was looking at my shelf and I was like, wow, I haven't put any of my books from this company, from this company. There's no Underdog there. There's no Casper. I didn't. There were books that I was like, oh, if they put out a trade, I'll put it up there. But the single issues aren't there. There are many books that never went to trade that aren't up there, and it feels like I was really chronicling my career early on, and that now I've kind of like pulled back, and I have not cared more. I've more, and when I wrote the story, I cared. I always wanted to do a great job, and I feel that I have. But when it comes out, it does feel more like, oh, it's complete now.
yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's fucking done. I mean, and plus, there's only so much time you have in a day. You're never gonna read these books again. Like,
it's
like
true,
ever.
Never's right.
Like, you're editing it, and then you're doing the letters, and by the time you're through the letters, you've read this thing so many times. You're just like, I'm never. So when you get the free book in the mail from the company, you're just like, oh, throw it on the shelf and sell it if you can, and you just there's no. You're putting out so much product on such a regular basis.
It's true, but what I'll say is this: I'll watch an actor in an interview, and when they say some shit like, "Oh, I never watch what I'm in. If I'm in a movie, I don't want to watch it." My thought is, "Oh, you cock. You know what a cock."
Yeah, but who would want to watch themselves on screen?
To me, you should. To me, I should have those books on the shelf. I should.
You ever make a sex tape?
I'm not gonna fucking answer that question.
Come on, man. We just talked about everybody watches fucking porn. Unless it's on your computer and somebody is listening to this who's a hacker, your fucking sex tape is safe.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of it leaking.
Okay, do you know the concept of a sex tape? You know the concept, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in the sex tape, if you had made a sex tape, when you're watching that sex tape, you're not fucking jerking off to you. You're jerking off to you having sex with the person you're having sex with. So who the fuck would sit there and watch a movie that they've done? Like, you know how many times they've done the action take scenes? They've seen it from the inside so many fucking times. Who would want to sit and watch themselves on screen? Like, they're ready. They can't suspend disbelief when they watch it, so they can't watch it like a regular person.
So who would? It's like this though. It's a good feeling to see an artist put your words onto a page. It's not as exciting as it used to be. I'll be real, but it's still exciting in some ways. Sometimes it's frustrating, but mostly it's a good feeling. I think that.
Do you remember the first time somebody drew your words, how good that felt?
Amazing. And looking back, not so great, you know, but
Hey, speaking of looking back, there is one thing I'm actively looking back on, but
Yeah.
it's for a specific reason. So I finally went back. I had to buy all these my fucking self. I went back and I got Return to Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland, Beyond Wonderland, Escape. I have those. I got all the Wonderlands, the ones that you and I worked on together,
Yeah.
and a couple of the ongoings that I wrote. And I'm going to sit down and actually read through all of them for the first time in like 10 years and get a sense of. I remember for some reason I reread the funeral scene at the end of Return to Wonderland. And I remember reading that and I was like, holy shit, dude, I had no idea what death really felt like.
Yeah.
But yet I wrote that thing in the same mindset of somebody who had experienced death even way back then. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, how the fuck? Versus when I wrote No Tomorrow, that book is painted red in fucking mourning and sorrow of having known what death. I mean, the whole entire purpose of that book was a guy wanted to kill death. So it was like everything about that book was me coming to terms with my wife's death, my girlfriend's death, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I've always found it fascinating, man. It's a real fucking trip.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think that because you and I have had disagreements before about how pain can shape a career, but
Yeah.
I will say that I think that experience can shape moments. Like for example, in Destiny New York Volume 3, that was written very close after my father died, and there are
Mhm.
moments that there's a funeral scene in there. Speaking of funeral scenes, and I had this one panel where um, it was the person who was experiencing the loss. Behind them, there were kids running at the funeral because what my experience was that not everyone at the funeral is having the same loss. Kids will still be kids at funerals. People will still make jokes at funerals. And then there's
Yeah.
a different panel where it's fully white, and then there's like bursts of text where you kind of like zone out at a funeral and you hear bits of conversations, and you're like, wow, people really are here just to be here. Just
Yeah.
oh, I went to the funeral. They aren't experiencing the loss the same way, and that's a
Oh
thing
yeah.
that I wouldn't really have known to write had I not gone to that specific funeral. Because the truth is, I've gone to many funerals, but I haven't been the core family at a funeral. I've been the friend at a funeral. And
Yeah.
that was a totally different thing. Like, um, over time, your perception of loss changes too, dude. Like, I had a friend of mine die. I think I must have been like 22 and she was 19. And now looking back at her death in my mid 30s, I'm like, wow, she was just a kid. And it's sad in a different way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, definitely I agree, man. I mean, the death of a grandmother is completely different than the death of a wife, the death of a girlfriend. One of those deaths where you should have been there, but you weren't. And it's like, man, this fucking world, this life is fucking rough. And if anything, what I've learned from this existence is your ability to adapt and change with the environment and the circumstances that are brought into your life at any given moment really determine the level of your happiness, your contentment in this world. Because dude, it never stops. Just when you think it stops, you think you have a handle on things, all of a sudden it throws a million different things your way. Even just getting old, sometimes your dick stopped working. I remember when my dick worked fabulously. OnlyFans is getting ready to ban sexually explicit content on their website,
They're
and
done,
my
son.
dick alone is sexually explicit because it's fucking glorious for all those ladies out there that this podcast is going to get me pussy from. But
my dick has never worked 100%. That motherfucker is always like, he takes mad lunch breaks, you know.
No,
Um,
but I mean, like, if nothing else, you've learned you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You're not the same person you were
yeah,
10 years ago. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly trying to be better. At least if you're a person who actively says to themselves, "I want to try to be better than I was the day before." I think that's fucking key. Like that's how you survive this shit called life.
yeah, it's hard though too, because like the truth is that I'll pray and I'll be like, I'm gonna be better about certain things, and then if if the next time I pray I say the same shit and I feel that I haven't been, that will kind of wear on me, you know.
Right. I got the weed hit me right when you were saying all that, and all of a sudden I went somewhere else.
Oh, all right. All right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
was.
no. So no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I was just saying that when I think that I'll be better, and when I tell myself or when I tell God I'm gonna be better, and then I'm not, that does it weighs on me that I wasn't able to, you know?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I've, a lot of this, a lot of this specific mindset that I've currently got to in at this point in my life comes from like going to AA meetings, and there's a lot of philosophies in those meetings about forgiving yourself, about giving yourself credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Um, I saw a meme somewhere. Somebody posted a GIF meme, whatever those fucking things are called on Facebook, and it's like somebody's talking about how hard it is today, and they just want to quit, but they're going to keep going. And then their friend is like, "Dude, you realize that you've made it this far. You've made it this many days. Like, give yourself credit for every day that you make." It's like, dude, you did something no one else has done. You made it another day, even though everybody makes it another day. But for you, that's kind of the goal, is to make it another day.
Yeah.
And like give yourself credit, man. Like you did a fucking so like one of the philosophies is just a lot of self-forgiveness. And I've found that kind of really putting that kind of energy into your life, being grateful. Like, dude, I'm grateful to be alive.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there who, whenever I'm in a meeting, I hear people say like they lost everything, but now everything's working out, and they have cars, and they have a place to live and all that. I'm at that place where I'm like, dude, I'm just grateful to be alive. Like I'm grateful to see the sky, to see the sun. I'm so fucking blessed to be taking a breath today.
Fuck yeah, man.
And that energy, I try to keep that energy with me throughout the day. Like I want to be better than I was the day before. It's easy when you're an alcoholic because you've gone through some rough patches, but all those people that you see on the internet, and me specifically, I always thought it was some bullshit. All those people that are like talking about positive messages, that are trying to be inspiring, that are like doing this thing on a regular basis. I used to think they were all full of shit, but no, they're literally trying to put that kind of energy out into the world because they realize how beneficial it is. Like I don't go and spout all this shit on fucking Facebook and whatnot because I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to get sympathy and whatnot. I'm saying it because, dude, I fucking am happy for the first time in a long time. I'm not happy because of drugs. I'm not happy because of alcohol. I'm not happy because of pussy, which I would like to be happy over pussy, but it doesn't seem to be falling from the sky right now. I'm not happy because I just finished a script. Like when you get that manic shit where you finish a script and you're like, oh, yes, the rush and shit. I'm just fucking happy.
Yeah.
And a huge part of that is just coming to terms with a lot of shit. You, like when you look in the mirror, do you love the person that's looking back at you? Like, do you genuinely love yourself? That's so hard to do because all we see are the flaws. All we see is what other people might perceive us as.
Yeah.
And my mindset now is I want to stay in that place. I want to stay in that place where I know I fuck up. I know I'm not perfect, but I love myself and I love this world and I'm grateful for every moment I have in it. I'm grateful just to sit here and talk to you for however long. I don't know if anybody's even going to see this shit, but who gives a fuck? It's just you and me and we have this fucking bond. Like when I went to the mental ward, just so you guys know, when you drink a lot of alcohol and you get really fucked up and you've been drinking it for 10 years and you try to stop drinking, you might die. So if you have a room full of people that are addicted to heroin and you have a room full of people that are addicted to alcohol and they both go cold turkey, more alcoholics will die than the heroin addicts. This is some real shit. So when you've been drinking for a long fucking time, you have to go to a place called detox. You go to an emergency room, and then they check you into basically a psych ward. While you're in the psych ward, they take all your shit away, and you don't have anything. You don't even have your phone. So you only have a phone list of people you can call, and that's the only people you talk to on one phone or two phones in the entire place for 40-something, 20-something patients. So out of all the people on my list, you were probably one of the only handful of people I would have called. That's real shit. Like, that's how close I've always felt to you. Like, we can talk about things that will never see this podcast.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we can talk about our actual feelings. And as real as I am, there's still some shit that's just for you and me.
Of
You
course.
know?
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of those things.
I'm happy to be your friend, man. I'm happy to be there for you. And what would you do if, while you were saying all this stuff, I just panned down and I was just stroking one off?
I totally expect it. I'd be like, I knew you were fucking gay this whole time. I knew that this is why you did these podcasts.
Yeah.
You're not actually doing podcasts with people. You're jerking off right below where anyone can see. And this is your fetish, is interviewing people while you jerk off and they don't realize it.
Yeah, this is just,
It's
just never coming out.
like that comedian, Louis C.K. What's his name? We're going to keep mentioning that just because it's like, that's the line.
Yeah.
Nowadays. Be careful what you say.
Yeah, I might bleep it just to help you out, dude, but we'll see, you know?
Yeah. Hey, dude. Okay, I'm going to ask you a really controversial question here.
Oh, God damn it. Okay.
Dude, you ever miss Trump?
Nah, dude.
No, come on. Like, just from an entertainment value. Like, dude,
Yeah.
he used to say the stupidest shit.
Well, here's
It
what.
was like, what is he going to say next?
Well, the thing is, like, when the way that I'm recording this, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking, they can't see me at all. And when I'm talking, they can't see you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Nah, so, but yeah, man, fucking the world was, I mean, it was scary, but it was so fucking entertaining.
Well, here's the thing. Trump and Biden are both entertaining in the way that they both say crazy things, you know. Trump is he was personally addicted to the media cycle. So the truth is that as much as he had an adversarial relationship with the media, he loved that shit. When the media would say negative things about him, he and his supporters loved it. So I would never understand why liberals would share like the media saying so many bad things about Trump when he wanted that. He thrived off that. That actively helped him. I think that so many on the left actually really helped Trump out. And that sucks. But
Well, I mean,
it is what it is.
the thing is controversy sells. No matter how you look at it, he was a master of the. He's stupid. He was a master fucking manipulator of the media, man. He knew how to work that shit, and it was entertaining as fuck, even if it was terrifying at the same time. Because Dude, I'm not fucking supporting his fucking beliefs but dude, like what he said was what he was really thinking. It wasn't colored with no bullshit. He was just like, okay, I'm gonna manipulate all you poor people to support me. And he was real about it. He was like, hey man, you know what I'm doing.
What's interesting about Biden though is that there's so many viral clips of him just talking nonsense. And what people don't get about Biden that I do talk about a lot because I have my own perspective on it is that Joe Biden has a stutter, right? And no one really speaks about this. So people think that what a stutter is to be like and then get the word out. Or
Right.
it's so many fucking different things. It's as varied as, like, for example, Tourette's. With Tourette's, people think it's one thing. They think it's like fuck shit bitch, but it's so many different things. Tourette's is someone who just does this
Right.
uncontrollably. There's physical tics, there's violent tics, there's verbal tics that aren't curses. It's so many different things. Stuttering, the way that Joe Biden does it is that he'll go for a word, like say for example, he wanted to say, I was gonna call my mother. What he might say is, I was gonna call. No, he's gonna get caught on the word mother, and then he'll have to figure out how to get there and go over roadblocks between. I was gonna call my sister's sister. And they're like, why the fuck did he say it that way? The reason he did was because he wasn't going to be able to fucking say mother, But
Right. Right.
I grew up with a stutter, and I've navigated the same way. I would rather try to hit that word that I'm going to have trouble with a different fucking word in advance than be one of those like mother motherfuckers,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, can you hold on 1 second? I gotta let my dog out.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. So yeah, man, but fuck, dude. It just seemed like he was just so much more interesting. Now it's just like watching somebody in a coma talk, and fuck it. Who
Well,
cares?
I'll tell you this.
I'm ready for the first female president.
I just want to say this really quick. You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, nobody's gonna give a fuck about that shit. No, nobody. I'm like, dude. Again, I made a fucking bubble, a Facebook bubble of people that all basically share similar views. Like I posted about the fucking vaccine. Emerald City, you have to have a vaccine or you have to have a test to get into the convention. So I posted it, and I didn't post my opinion on it because my opinion is my opinion, and I'm keeping that shit to my fucking self. Not because I'm afraid of what people think, but because I know the shit doesn't fucking matter. If I share an opinion and you share it, then you like it. If I share an opinion and you don't like it, you don't fucking like it. It's not going to fucking change. But so I posted this about the Emerald City parameters for you to get into the show.
Yes.
And everybody's like, this is a great idea. They're keeping the world safe. Yes, 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 blah, blah, blah. And all the way at the bottom, there was one person that was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not getting no vaccination, these Nazi motherfuckers. And I sat there and I was like, well, that's an example of the Facebook bubble. There's very few people that don't agree with your particular mindset, and I feel like that's a fucking detriment. I want the people that fucking don't agree with me. Otherwise, I'm not going to see the world for what it is. It's like reading a newsreel. Have you ever seen those I know you've had to have done this at least once, but you see a news article, something happening in the world, whether it's vaccines or some shit, and you click on the comments, and you get to see all the voices, and some of the voices are so fucking toxic.
Yeah.
And some of the voices are so religious, and some of the voices, and it's just like this whole smorgasbord of all these different personal views. And you get to the point where you're just kind of like, opinions are like assholes. Everybody fucking has one.
It's true. And I've been challenging myself to try to be less judgmental about opinions, but the truth is the opposite has happened. It's made me more judgmental toward people who are judgmental about opinions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like have you ever like here's the one that fucking fucks with me
Yeah.
is do you have a friend on Facebook? I'm not gonna say who this friend is for me, but that motherfucker knows who they are. But they will engage these motherfuckers who have different opinions. Like if somebody posts something on my that I come across that's either racist or homophobic in nature or just derogatory toward a particular sexuality, they're gone immediately. I don't have that shit on my, or people like there's a lot of people that are Black Lives Matter on my thing, but people that are just like stringently, oh, it's fucking blah blah blah, Nazis, they're racist and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, they don't exist on my fucking wall. But the whole entire point of that is I don't remember what the point of that whole conversation was because I'm high as a motherfucker.
Well,
and that can happen at least one time in every podcast I do from here on out. I'm gonna get so fucking high, I'm gonna forget what I was talking about.
I'll tell you this. It strikes me when you said that there's the one friend who will engage back with people.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that? Like they spend so much energy and they'll write big responses and they'll go back and forth. And I'm like, who has time to do that shit? You're not changing their minds.
Yes. And what it is that the people who do that will judge you for one, not doing that, and two, for having that friend at all. I had this was illuminating to me about one of my friends. And this, you know, if that person hears this, I don't want them to be insulted. This is just the truth. I back when I was doing my podcast on the regular, it's been a while. You know, we've taken a break, but I was doing an interview with a friend of mine. We were childhood friends, and up until this point, we had a break in our friendship. We hadn't seen one another for a while.
Right.
It's my friend Smiley Chris. Smiley Chris is, you know, he is a conspiracy theorist. He's a flat earther, and he is a Trump supporter. And I had him on my podcast to talk about flat Earth because Chris, his beliefs aren't informed by hatred. His beliefs are informed by he's so deep in the conspiracies that he doesn't believe that the sky above us is space. He thinks that it's a projection. So when people say that he is a Trump supporter because he hates this, and that, no, he doesn't operate from the same facts as we do. He operates from a set of beliefs that are informed by people telling him that everything's a lie. Everything. So
Yeah.
I wanted to try to understand that and to try to sort of, you know, find a reason why he believes this to make an interesting story. And I have a friend who's in the industry in comics who I told about this, who I told about Chris as a friend. And when I had Chris on the podcast, we were doing it partially as a live stream. And my buddy in comics comments, I just looked this guy up. You shouldn't be talking to him. He's on Reddit as this, and that. And after the podcast was over, I called this friend and I was like, yo, why would you do that in public? Like, I told you about this conversation. I told you why I was having it. Why would you publicly try to make it seem as if I was corroborating what he's saying or just making that comment in any way? That was like a bitch move, you know? And the dude was like, oh, I forgot that it was this. And what I realized was like, wow, he wanted to protect himself from knowing me that I'm talking to this dude. That's what he was doing. Right. And that's bitch behavior, you know? And yeah, dude. So that kind of thing is eye-opening about how someone will treat you online the second that they think that you might not be 100% in line with their beliefs, even if you are.
It gets wild. It gets fucking crazy. I think it's a load of fucking bullshit. I mean, everybody should be able to have different opinions. I mean, even like, I'm not going to follow you and I'm not going to be your friend, but even racist people, I fucking would much rather know somebody's fucking racist then it'd be one of those motherfuckers who keep their thoughts to themselves, and they're racist, but they don't let you know they're racist because they're playing the game. Like those are the motherfuckers that worry me.
That's
Because
yeah,
they're out
that's
there.
true. That's very true. I have an experience like that. The town that I grew up in, it was very diverse. It was I felt in many ways the opposite of how you were describing. I was one of a much smaller group of white kids in my school growing up. So I
Right.
was the idea that a white person would be racist where I was growing up, I couldn't believe it. But my neighbor was white, was an older guy. And dude, something crazy with him later on. But one day, I've known him my whole life. Not like homies, but he was like a 40-year-old dude. I thought he was fine. I was walking home one time at night and he was outside doing something to his car and he stopped me and he was like, "Hey, do any of the racial slurs at your school ever cause any problems with you?" And I was like, God damn. Like he came out with it so immediate, as if he didn't even think I would have a problem with it. And I
Right.
was like, that's the first racist thing he's ever said to me. And I was just stunned. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah, I mean, back in high school, I remembered somebody I've known had known for like a long time. We were in like a therapy session shit for weird kids. I don't fucking know what it was. But he's like, "Yeah, I've been racist my whole life." And I'm like, "This is somebody I've known my whole fucking life." And he just like threw it out there. He's like, "Yeah, man, my dad was racist. He raised me racist, and I believe black people are this and this." And I was just like, "Whoa, fuck." I actually dropped out of high school not long after that because I was so disillusioned with humanity. I was
Yeah,
like, I can't be around this shit. This is fucked up.
it's
So
depressing.
yeah, I mean, but as I grow older, I appreciate all these different opinions, and like some people believe everyone should like gun control and shit. Some people have this massive thing about guns. They're just like, "Oh, you're gonna take my guns," all this shit. And other people are like, "Oh, we need gun control and blah blah blah." I'm just like, I don't give a fuck either way. Most of this shit, I don't give a fuck either way. But I wouldn't want to live in a world where there was just one fucking opinion. It's like the whole gay shit. Some people are just like they hate gays or they don't agree with gay people being gay. And some people are just like, "Hey, gay people should have rights." And I'm like, "Yeah, gay people should have fucking rights." But you know what? Who gives a shit? Because at the end of the day, this opinion is not going to be changed by this opinion. And yet we live here in the middle and we're constantly trying to change other people's opinion. I don't do that shit. The only thing I do is, like I was saying at the very beginning, is I try to put something positive out there into the world now, whether it's me being myself or whether it's me saying inspirational shit, because there's so much of this divisive shit out there. You know what I mean? Like it's and because of the internet, it's so in our face every day. Whereas before, you grew up in a world where you weren't connected to so many different people across such a wide spread of the world. You were just like there, your neighborhood.
Yeah,
So
it's it's scary that the speed at which the language of the internet changes, the ethics of it changes. And I think it comes down to platforms like Twitter, even more than Facebook, where Twitter, it limits what you can say. It's almost like motherfuckers who like have an opinion about something from reading a headline, right?
yeah,
Twitter creates this language where it's just headlines, where there's no nuance to a thought. It's like, oh, I gotta fit it in this, and you don't express yourself. It's kind of like Joe Biden, where he has a stutter. He doesn't express the exact thought he wants. I empathize. I feel that I do the same shit. Twitter is like that, where you're limited. There's a limit on what you could say. You push it into that limit and you create a box around what you say and you
yeah.
simplify what you say. You remove nuance. That's dangerous because Twitter is now the primary social media more than Facebook. That's dangerous.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble.
About what part?
Because you just made fun of Joe Biden. You said he was a puppet, and you said that he looks like he had a stroke and that he eats little babies.
Nah. Nah.
Dude, it's recorded. It's recorded. People are gonna play it back and hear you say that shit over and over again.
Yeah, dude.
You're
Joe
done. You're
Biden.
done.
Joe Biden is my he's my SB.
He's your SB. What's an SB?
Stutter brother.
Stutter brother. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. You know, you remember you had said something to me in a text message, and you said something was sus. And I actually went and looked up the word sus, and sus is short for suspect.
Yeah, you are sus.
Yeah, and I sat there and I was like, wow, I never would have known this word if not for you. What a waste of a fucking word to learn, because I'm never going to use that. I'm like, Jesus. And it's stuck there. It's there forever. I'm
Yeah,
never using that fucking word. If I use that word, I'm calling you right in the middle of me fucking.
you
And
should.
I'm like, hey, by the way,
Wait,
Pat,
why are you fucking
no,
in the story?
I don't fucking know, because fucking should be in every story. It's
Okay.
like I called, it's like if I did this podcast right now and I was actually fucking while I did this podcast, the podcast would be so much better. It would be so like you would see you'd see the drip of sweat going down my eye, and you'd see like a little motion like this, and it would just be so vastly more entertaining.
Is
It's
that how
like
you
if I
talk? Like this? Like this?
uh, I assume ladies, I assume this is what it looks like if I'm on top of you.
Yeah.
If that doesn't do it for you, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. But
My
if you see
whole
this
yeah.
and you like this, you could have that for $59.95.
Dude, I'm the opposite. My entire front half, the top half, stays still. The bottom half just goes in. You know?
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. As soon as you said that, I pictured it. I
Yeah.
pictured you doing that, and it is hilarious.
That's how you gotta do it. All right, dude. We gotta wrap it up. I gotta eat dinner. So let's you have any final
Yeah.
thoughts?
Oh man, just that this was wonderful. I know I hounded you for this shit because I decided not that long ago I was just gonna do things that are fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna enjoy every aspect of this business, and
You should.
everything I do is gonna be the motivation will be fun. And I've always loved talking to you on the phone. People don't know our history. Used to try to cuddle with my leg, and I'd be like, Pat, stop trying to fuck my leg.
Well,
And then I would like rub you underneath the chin. I'd be like, good Pat Shandy, good Pat.
yeah.
You're my favorite hobbit. But yeah, man, this is just cool. I enjoy this. I'm so grateful for you having me on. You guys out there, pick up all Pat Shan's books. He's an amazing fucking writer. I say this having not read a single one of his shits in many, many years, but he's pretty fucking dope.
All right. So everyone hit the comment hit the description below. You'll see all of Raven's social, all that kind of stuff. What else? What else? What else? What else?
So I promised myself I wouldn't plug anything
You
on
gotta.
any of these shows, but I am going to plug something. If you haven't gotten a copy of Secret Life of Crows, it's incredibly hard to find. Very hard, almost impossible. Nii Rufino might have it on her website, but it is my favorite story I've ever written. If you guys can find that book, I hope you like it. I'm very proud of that book. That's the only book I look back on, and I'm just like, that was truly special. Love all my other shit. Buy all my other books. Fucking, you want to. If you can see my face right now, you can totally jerk off to that. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gets you there. Ladies, this could be yours
Sus.
right now.
Very
You
sus.
could have that. And other than that, man, thank you very much, Mr. Shan. I appreciate it. And I'm going to, just so you know, I'm going to blow up your logo, your company, Space Between.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my dick right between the space and the between and send you a picture of that shit because I love you that much, Hobbit.
Don't blow it up too much or it's gonna make you look pretty bad. You know what I'm saying?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming, dude.
But I mean, big dicks are overrated though. You got to go medium at best.
Oh yeah, dude. But I've lost weight, so my shit's giant now.
All right, well.
I also write
Everyone,
fiction.
you can find Raven Gregory at onlyfans.com/Raven Gregory, but just till October. Shit's changing. You'll find me at Pat Shand on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I will, yeah, I mean, thank you for doing this, dude. This is my first podcast that I'm producing in about a year. We've been off since COVID. This isn't going to be an episode of Space Between. This is going to be a solo joint, but I'm going to get back to doing this more. I'm going to do some with Amy soon. I want to get a haircut. My shit's looking kind of like AJ Soprano in the final season, which is not good. But yeah.
Hey,
Thanks.
hey, you have hair like AJ Styles right now. Look him
Who's that?
up. He's a wrestler.
Man, you and this
You
wrestling dude.
you have a soccer mom's haircut.
All right. But yeah, man, thanks.
Nah, man, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. This has been a blast. I know you didn't smoke weed with me during this, but
Yeah,
I felt like you were in the spirit of being high as a motherfucker right now.
it's my life, man.
You be safe out there. Watch out for that hurricane, you sissy ass.
Yeah,
Fucking
dude.
hurricane.
It's
Get
Hurricane
out of
Henry
here.
with an I. Henry with an I.
Uh,
That's kind of. I'm not scared, but
Henry can eat my balls from the backside
well, okay.
with a fucking napkin.
There we go. That's weird.
That's how we end this shit.